Okay, I literally had to go take a walk and breathe because I've tried to make this video like 7 times. I have screamed already because I keep trying to remake this and I keep messing up, and then the last one I was doing was going so well, and then literally the phone locked out and I couldn't find the notes. And so anyways, guys, second video of the day. This is craziness, and I'm about to make a third after this if this doesn't take me another 20,000 tries. And I'm so impressed with my level of commitment. I mean, I said that already, but seriously, so impressed with myself. I think the multiple videos today, other than it being Saturday and I had time, is because I feel bad for missing the 2 days. So, and I'm super inspired because I currently have horses posted for sale and also ISO posts out there. So I'm really living in the moment and getting extra inspired. I also want to say that I'm sorry to this chair because I hated on it earlier and wasn't happy about not having my other chair, but it's great. I get to put my arms up, so this is fantastic. And then maybe I won't smack my leg the whole freaking time while I'm trying to avoid saying which gosh knows that's not working. So anyways, you'll be seeing a lot of the phone because I was leaving notes on my phone all day long, not thinking about the fact that I'm going to be using my phone to make the video. So I didn't feel like printing it out, and that was going to be a whole ordeal because my printer's being rude. And I didn't feel like writing it all out because that was going to take forever because I have a ton of notes. So I copied and pasted it to mom's phone, and here I am. I think that this video is going to give away like some secrets or some tricks of the trade, and some people might not want this video out there because then it just, like I said, it gives things away that I think slides past a lot of amateurs, and they get pulled into situations that they shouldn't be in because they just don't know any better. And the don't ask, don't tell thing is just really not cool for me, and I see that happen a lot. And I have no problem with putting this stuff out there because, you know, there's just a way to say things. There's always a better way to say things. Apples and oranges, I've learned that since I was young. You're selling the same thing. You can say things in a way that's not so aggressive or doesn't come off as rough, but you also don't need to be dishonest or pull the wool over people's eyes. And that's what I'm trying to differentiate in this video. Reading between the lines is something very important to know how to do in sales. And unfortunately, a lot of amateurs don't know how to do that because wisdom is everything, experience is everything, and if you don't buy and sell all the time, you wouldn't know what to look for. And even certain people that do buy a lot, they just haven't caught on yet. And you will eventually, and unfortunately, you learn it the hard way. But I'm trying to help people out. I mean, these videos are supposed to be funny, but at the same time, I do want them to be educational. And of course, they are just my opinion and my point of view. So if you don't agree with them, I completely understand. But I just want this to be out there. And I think this is a good one because I come across this a lot. So anyways, I noticed that a lot of times with my clients when I'm helping them look for a horse, you know, once in a while you have the ones like Vanessa that want to help you look for their horse. And I love that. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But most of the horses she sent me were an instant no. And a lot of the times, it's not because you don't have a good eye. Technically, the horse you're sending me, absolutely. But either in the post or when I get to the videos, if I end up getting to the videos, if the post was good enough, something is going to be there that I'm instantly like, nope. And it's something that as an amateur, I think you're not looking for, but they're the things I'm looking for. And especially because I'm so used to buying off video, you have to really read between the lines. And I think that's what this video is going to be called today. So let's get into it. So when I'm looking for a horse for clients, we're going to go with quiet horses, that we're looking for a quiet horse. Green, maid, doesn't matter, but quiet, okay? Because I could go on for hours, obviously, if we went into other types, but we'll stick with quiet because that's what everybody tends to be looking for. So when you're looking for a quiet horse, right, let's go for the videos right now. The first thing I'm going to look for is, one, obviously, does it have draw reins on in every single video? Because that, for me, is a big no-no. And I don't mind in training videos when you use draw reins. And yeah, I'm going to send a video of horses with draw reins on because if we happen to use them and we got really good video that day, I'm going to want to send that. But at the same time, I have videos of us without using draw reins. And when people send that to me, that's a first red flag of why does it go in draw reins every single ride. And I'm not saying draw reins make a horse quieter, but sometimes it can kind of hold together something that's not there or is there and they don't want you to see. Then the biggest thing, like the biggest thing that I see is when you see somebody, okay, so we're going to get a little bit descriptive here. You see somebody pitched forward the whole time. And I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, but you know, he's forward and soft. So, you know, because you assume that if a horse is a forward ride or strong or something, somebody's going to be sitting in the back and holding them together. Wrong. There is a way to make a horse that goes a little more sensitive or more forward or is stronger look softer. They don't do it very well, in my opinion, but this is what you're looking for. So when you see somebody, and some people just don't ride well. Some people, this is just them, but there are more things to look for that go with this. Anyways, so when you see somebody pitching forward, I don't know why I'm acting like you can see my lower half and it would take too much moving around, but you see them pitching forward and you see their knees are pinched on the saddle and their shoulders are super tight because their arms or their hands are in the horse's mane, right? So you're like, oh, they're pitched forward, their hands are in the mane, the horse is going soft. Wrong. Knees pinched typically means the lower leg is off. If the lower leg is off, that horse probably isn't as quiet as you think. Now, maybe they just ride improperly. Like I said, sometimes that is the thing. But I definitely pay attention. Like when I can consistently see that there is room between that leg and then the horse's side, that's weird for me because I know any of my quiet horses, I'm sitting taller and I'm squeezing and pushing forward. Not all quiet horses are a dead kick ride, but still, most quiet horses typically require leg going around. Plus, your leg should be on anyways, unless you're riding a hotter horse, and it's not even about your leg not being on, it's just a different placement of your leg, but never mind. Anyways, that's for a different day. So another trick is hands in the mane, right? So I learned this one a long time ago, and I've definitely used it to make a nicer video, but at the same time, I'm going to also show what that horse is like with different riders and all of the above. It's just trying to show you what the horse can go like, but the trick is hands go in the mane, right? And their arms are stiff and tight. So that's not hands up here and soft, right? That is arms here. And with their hands being in the mane, they're pushing down and you twist your hands a little bit the opposite direction. And that's really hard to explain, but instead of like this, you'd be a little bit like this. So that rather than the rein being directly through, there's a little bit of tension on it. And with your arms being solid, and you always got to look for the shoulders and the arms so that when they're being really tight and there's no bend in the elbow, that's concerning to me. They're trying to keep contact with that horse's mouth the whole time while going around. That doesn't scream quiet horse to me, or that screams somebody who just doesn't know how to let go of a face. But typically I see that with horses that aren't as quiet and they're trying to tell you it's quiet. They're like on their toes, knees are pinched, leg is off, hands are in the mane, but keeping that direct contact. That's not a quiet horse. I want to see when I'm looking for a quiet horse, and again, I don't mean bomb-proof because this is different. I want to see sitting tall. I want to see soft arms. I want to see leg on, an engaged seat. For me, if you're riding like that and that horse is still going quiet, yes, it could be drugged and prepped and all the above, but that for me says quiet. Moving on. So other things I'm going to look for are when somebody's trying to go slower because they're trying to show you the horse is quiet, slow and choppy does not equal quiet. For me, I want to see that horse being driven forward. And if it's being driven forward and it's quiet and consistent, that's a quiet horse. Not short and choppy and slow. That's not quiet. Then we go forward to the mouth. If they are foaming at the mouth, now again, there are always contradictions to everything, but I have my old gelding, he foams at the mouth with everything. You can literally ride on the buckle and he foams at the mouth, but that's not the norm. Like most of the time, if something's foaming at the mouth, there's a lot of contact going on. So again, unless that's just the style somebody rides, but honestly, I don't want to see that. I don't know why people are so like, get contact, get contact. I don't want to see that. I want to see the horse's natural way of going. So if you see a lot of foaming at the mouth and a lot of chomping, that is something you need to be paying attention to because one, it could be nervous habits. There's a lot of things that could be going on. Their teeth could be hurting. But again, there's a series of things that I look for that kind of give me the idea if this horse is worth looking into or not. And I'm always open-minded, send me multiple videos, blah, 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 but typically there's a consistency. So also keeping an eye on what kind of bit they have in their mouth. I mean, I had a super quiet horse that was just heavier, but this is going to tie into something I'm going to talk about later with important questions to be asking when you're looking at horses. Very important questions that I feel like, I know some people, some buyers that are fantastic and ask these questions, but I wish more would. I mean, I'm happy to answer them. Typically, most of mine go in snaffles, but I'm saying if it were me. Anyways, so then I move on to, after all the body language tells you a lot, and the way that they're traveling and the bit, then I'm going to a sweaty horse. So if the horse is sweaty in every video, is that not concerning? And all of this is coming from what I see done. And I'm like, does nobody question that? Why every single video that person has sent me, he's sweaty in it? I mean, where's the video where he's dry? And again, the horse could be prepped and drugged and all of the above. And I think these things because you have to always think these things, because unfortunately there are a lot of crappy people out there. But if the horse is sweaty in every video and it looks quiet in that, shouldn't you be concerned that it got lunged before the video, or that they've been riding it for a half hour and it's finally quiet and now they're videoing? I mean, just things to question. And I know with my green horses, sometimes it really does take them 20 minutes to just pull their brain together. But again, we're talking about selling something really quiet and not necessarily super green. So after we've gone through all of that and the tools that they're using, draw reins are not a bad thing, but draw reins in every video, definitely something to look into. Then I'm going to go into the questions that need to be asked, right? So say all the videos were really good, I'm tracking back to the post. If somebody says, well, no, actually, back on the videos, but a part of questions that you need to ask. I have had horses come that literally were advertised as 17 hands and it shows up as 16 hands. And I'm thinking, one, I don't know why it's worth lying about. I'm going to know instantly. But two, the way that I kind of avoid that one is when I'm interested, I'm going to ask how tall was that person in the video, right? Then I'm going to maybe ask for, can I get a picture of that person standing next to that horse? And, I know it's hard, but you get a pretty good idea off of that. Or ask for that horse to be stuck and you want a picture from farther back, right? So that you can actually see that the stick is touching the ground, because I've had people do that and the stick just wasn't touching the ground, and stupid me, but that was old. We learned from that. Because I see this happen a lot. And another thing you need to keep in mind is, how's that horse built? Because if that person's leg was hanging low, I have sat on a 15 3-hand horse and I have looked completely normal. And then I've sat on another 15 3-hand horse and I look like an absolute giant, because I'm 5'8" and I have a lot of leg and a lot of torso. So that's a very important question to ask, how that horse is built, and get pictures of that. Like, don't be afraid to ask a million questions. These are very important things. So give me a second. I want to look through my notes. Oh, yes. Okay. So another thing that I can't stand is when videos are pieced together. Like, for me, I might be annoying, but I either make a Dropbox with a bunch of videos together, so you can just see them of all, like, with different riders and different days and whatever, or I'll send just a few individual videos, and then if you're interested, we'll go from there and I'll send you more videos. But when somebody makes a video and it's pieced together, that's always a red flag for me. Red flags don't mean I'm not interested or that they're doing something wrong, but that for me is like, why is that video pieced together? Like, why haven't you sent me any full videos? Or if the videos are all a few seconds long, or they stop after a jump, like the horse jumps, lands, does a stride, and they stop the video. That's weird. I have never stopped a video that soon. Like, maybe once or twice it's happened when we're doing a lot and I'll stop and then, go move a pole or something. But typically I want to see that horse at least canter through the corner, whether it has a change or not. I want to see how it continues. The backside is very important to see how they're going to be, how it reacted to the rider's body weight on the backside. So for me, when I see a video that's all pieced up, I'm getting sent tiny little pieces, or it looks edited, that's a no-go for me. On the note of edited, I really hate, and I don't know about you guys, but I hate music in videos. I know they think they're doing a nice thing, but It's not cute. I don't enjoy it. For me, I actually prefer, unless I'm just screaming at my rider and I sound like a hyena, I'm going to keep the sound there because a lot of the times I want them to hear that I'm saying to apply leg. So when you see the horse move forward, it's because I told them to put leg on, or they sat up, nothing happened. I'm the one who told them to sit up. And I'm very descriptive in my videos because I'm talking to my rider typically. So if I'm not the one riding, so I think I want to hear that. Like, I always listen to the sound. But when people either mute it, like I said, sometimes I do because I sound like a hyena, or they put the video together and have music over it, I can't stand that. So that's just a pet peeve of mine. But anyways, back to my notes. Me. I know this is annoying that I look down at my notes, but I hate making these videos and then missing things. So, when people don't send videos of like a full course, when they send, now unless the horse is green, because my green horses, we do single jumps, we don't always put a course together because it takes a lot to put a course together. And that's a little pet peeve of mine, is when people are like, what, will you give a course video? It is a baby horse who just started jumping. No, I don't, because do you know what it takes to put a course together for a baby horse? That requires a lot of balance, a lot of good communication that they might not understand yet. If they don't have a change, that makes things interesting. Or if they do have a change, but it's still too rushed for them, corners come up really quick and then the next jump comes up. And if you're not put together, it's just a mess. But again, we're not talking about baby green horses. But when they don't send a video of a full course, but I just got pieces, and you can tell, this is the best part, when you literally can tell that it's all from the same day and like they jumped a course, like they'll send me from this corner, jumping the line to this corner, and then I'll get it from this corner to that jump, and I'm thinking, it definitely looks like this was supposed to be a whole video, but they break it apart because either things happened or whatever. That's weird. And again, I'm telling you guys all of this because it's happened to me, and I feel like I see an amateur getting these videos and not thinking much of it, but those are question marks. Not always a bad thing, but they are question marks. They are things that need to be asked. And again, don't be afraid to ask. If my video has a situation like that, ask. I'm happy to tell you. Typically, I don't chop anything or edit it, but anyways. So now as far as important questions, right? So when you see a horse, they say goes best in a program, you need to ask why that horse goes best in a program. Don't just assume because the videos were good. People tend to give the information away. Again, they also tend to write it in a way that people don't think much of it. And not everybody. Some people are very honest. Some people write excellent posts, but these are things as an amateur that you need to be looking into. Why does it go best in a program? What kind of program? That's important. Why did it go in this bit in this video? For me, I've had horses that go best in 2 rings. They're not forward. They carry themselves heavier on the front end. And I don't always have the time that I would want to put into, a baby horse of the foundation and really teach them how to drive from their hind end and lift up into my hands and blah, blah, blah. So some of them just go better in a 2 ring, and it's not a harsh bit or anything, but important questions to ask. I appreciate the people that do ask. I'm happy to explain. So bits are important. Definitely always ask if it's a plain snaffle, because there could be a whole bunch of interesting stuff going on, but it looks like a plain snaffle on the outside. So that's very important to know. When people say things like they prefer a softer rider, for me, that's concerning. Is it because they're reactive? Are they reactive is really where I'm going with this. So are they reactive? Why do they prefer a softer rider? For some horses, it's a very easy explanation, but again, that is something that you do need to ask. And you also have to be really honest with yourself of what kind of rider you are. And again, this is where sharing videos of how you ride come into play. Because me as a seller, I'm going to watch that video. It doesn't mean you don't know how to ride. I know I said that in the last video, but making jokes. But if you have a specific way you ride, you might not be ready for this type of horse. So that's very important, and I wish more people did it, more people requested it, and more people just voluntarily sent it. Although I don't know if all sellers would be honest and tell you if you're going to be a good fit. But, another thing is, do they prefer contact? Like, those are all important questions. Do they prefer contact? Can they travel on a loose rein? And if they say yes, great, then I want video of that. Because I know for me, when I'm selling a quiet horse, I do some stupid stuff on them sometimes because I really want to show like, hey, he's quiet, you know? But I want to see them go on a looser rein, even if it's for a few seconds. I want to see the transitions up into the canter. I want to see them landing on the backside of a fence, and I want to see you stay on 2-point a little bit longer. Those things for me are very important when I'm interested in a quiet horse. And also like looking for amateurs. It's different if I'm looking for a professional or anyways. One second, back to the video or back to my notes. That's pretty much it. You know, more important things while we're on that is you need to ask what the prep is. And I know people hate prep, but guess what? Prep is a part of a lot of things. Sometimes that horse just needs 5 minutes to go canter on a lunge line without a human and just kind of defrag. Some of them come out really tight, and then you're going to get nervous because you feel like they want to buck you off or something, and then you're going to grab their mouth and you're going to escalate the situation when all they needed was 5 minutes to breathe. But it's really important to ask these questions, and I feel like when I ask these questions, people kind of relax and then realize that they're working with someone who's educated, and then they're happy to tell me. But I also know plenty of people that, again, do the don't ask, don't tell. If you don't ask them, they're not going to say anything. And then you get that horse home, and what you saw in the video required a lot to get there. And that's not always a bad thing, because if the end of the day product is what you need, but you need to know how to get it there. So what type of bit, what type of program, what type of rider they prefer. And am I missing? I think I said what kind of prep. You know, what kind of program do they like? I mean, some horses need to jump once a week. Some need to jump, you know, twice a week. Obviously, if you're jumping more than once a week, it shouldn't always be bigger stuff. It should be, you know, cavalettis and stuff. Do they need to stay tuned? Do they need professional rides? Every horse is different. I mean, one of my packers that one of my clients currently owns literally never needs a schooling ride. Like literally never needs a schooling ride. He just is the way he is, and he is Mr. Perfect. That would be your Olive Maytall. But there are some horses that to stay perfect need that training ride. And again, important questions to ask. And then obviously, you know, their feeding program and their shoes, because you need to know if this horse is going to fit into your lifestyle as well. And I know some people are going to say, oh, but you don't like asking about shoes. Nope, it's not that I don't like that. It's the people that automatically just want that horse to be barefoot, and that's all they're willing to consider. Those are the people I have a problem with. Not people that want to know what is their shoeing regimen. Some of my horses need to stay every 5 weeks, and they barely make it to that 5th week. They have great feet, but they grow out like crazy, and if I wait too long, they start pulling shoes, and now we're on a vicious cycle. So questions are always important to ask, and I want to put it out there that if you're ever interested in a horse or you're looking at a horse, I mean, I'm not saying I'm like some big hoo-ha, but I also have bought a lot of horses off video, and I know things that I look for that give me either, like I said, red flags or question marks or absolute no's. I mean, it's really easy to tell if a horse is actually a quiet horse or not. Again, I think I said this, but you want to see them sitting up and really driving forward. I mean, not like deep seat driving forward, but you want to see them sitting tall, shoulders are soft, bent elbows, soft hands. That's what you want to see. Where else was I going with that? But yes, so if anybody is looking at horses, I am happy for you to always send me the video or send me the ad, because I'll tell you, I mean, there's some things that I couldn't even explain that I can just see in a video that are question marks for me that it would just be really hard for me to explain it. It's just, I don't know, it's not a feeling thing, but it's just things that I've tuned myself to see. And again, it's just out of experience. And I hate that I keep saying the word again, but this is very important, and there are a lot of things that I'm repeating because they're important. So yeah, lots of repetition in this video, but I'm always happy to help. If you're ever looking at something, send me the video, send me the ad. I'm happy to put in my opinion. And again, it's my opinion, but if you know me and you know what I do and you want my opinion, I'll never be upset by you sending that or be annoyed. I'm always happy to help, because I just hate to see people buy something and then it comes in and it's not what they thought it was. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes you buy a horse and it literally is nobody's fault, but a lot of the times I see, like I said, with clients that have sent me horses, and I'm like, oh my God, you would have bought that horse. You thought it was a steal of a deal because it's priced lower. And on that note, final thing, pricing a horse less isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes they're just quick deals. Sometimes there are other reasons for it. But I'm not saying ask why it's priced cheap, but definitely if you see a horse and they're selling it as a packer and this, that, you definitely need to ask in the nicest way possible, like what what's the reason for selling, as much as that kind of drives me nuts. But because for me, I'm like, is it not obvious I do sales? When you click on my page, can you not see that? But if it seems too good to be true, definitely ask. And like I said, multiple videos, the more videos you can possibly get. And I know people get annoyed. I'm not annoyed by that. I send a million videos. I probably annoy people with too many videos. So definitely always ask for extra videos. Ask for a video of the horse in hand, even if it's a horse that's been, like jumping and changes and all of the above. Ask for that video of them in hand. Ask for a lunging video. I'm trying to think what else. Ask for the tacking up video. That's important. I know that's weird, but ask for a tacking up video, because there's a lot of things that you're going to see in that. I mean, and are its ground manners up to par with something you can handle? And that can give away a lot of other things as well. But so yeah, that's most of it. And there's so much more that I could go into, but paying attention to the videos, really watching those videos. Don't just go, oh, it has a lovely trot, or oh, it has a lovely canter. You need to be looking for in between the lines, the body language. Most of the time you can see it. So yeah, anyways, I'm so excited for the next video, because I think this is just going to be hilarious, and I hope you all enjoy it as much as I do. And I hope this video was helpful. And if anybody ever has any questions, or anybody ever wants help, I'm here. Okay, bye.